Amy said I could help you. But did Amy say how you could help me?
No, I have some money, a bit.
Not money.
Well, I could help you with your computer. I'm really handy.
Just relax. I'm not gonna hurt you. You gotta give a little to get a little, right?
It's okay. It's over fast.
That's right. I'm just gonna take a little tour. You taste like strawberries.
Welcome to episode 111 of Revisiting Sunnydale. I'm Camila.
I'm Marcella.
And we're trying to get it together and just walk away from the real world.
Right?
and really trying to get it all together and bring a little bit of joy to ourselves and hopefully to you for the next hour or so. Really struggling here.
The world is fucked, y'all. It's fucked up.
Right. So we'll just take a moment and I guess
Hot topics.
Yes, hot topics.
A new section called Hot Topics.
Exactly. So we're going to go into our sanctuary for a second, but not completely go in because, hot topics are what's happening in the world right now. So
yeah.
Number one, I did happen to see this about little Aunt Jemima.
Aunt Jemima.
Which fucking finally, jeez.
Yeah, it's tough. Should it be called Aunt Jemima? Fuck no. It should never have been called. It's based off a woman. I think her name was Nancy Green or something. Why didn't you call it Aunt Nancy's? Why'd you have to change it?
I had no idea where the origin.
Yeah, I was reading it this morning, and it's based on a woman. She was a cook and all this. Why did you have to call it that?
Right. When did it?
Now, Raven and I were talking about it this morning, and I like her point. She's saying, I don't want to see black faces come off of products, but just update it. It doesn't need to be this. They have changed the, stereotypical look of it.
3 times. There's been 3 changes. One was just a straight out mammy.
Yeah.
Was the first one. Second one was Gone with the Wind mammy. And then the third one was just okay, this is our 50s mammy who cooks for our cook and our nanny kind of thing. She's a good Negro. So that's what we're at now currently.
So according to CNN, it says the company's website said the logo started in 1890 and was based on Nancy Green, a storyteller, cook, and missionary worker. So how pissed off was she? Aunt motherfucking Jemima. Who's Jemima?
I have never known a Jemima in my life.
Right.
What do we see?
The website fails to mention that she was born into slavery. So take her name, take her face, they took everything.
Right. Exactly. So, the whole, they're not changing the name and face. It looks like it's just the whole brand is to be discontinued altogether.
Everything. Well, no. So they're changing the name, the logo, the formula of the product won't change, but they're changing the name and they're changing the branding. So the new branding will be released in the fall.
God.
Aunt Nancy's. Well, I guess in the case of the supermarket choices, I've got Aunt Jemima, this really stereotypical woman over here. But on the other hand, let's talk about the equally stereotypical Mrs. Butterworth.
Oh, yes.
With the bottle with the tits.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen a dude just stroking the tit bottle absentmindedly? Why is that bottle of tits?
I have no idea. It's I should not be reminded of stereotypical over-sexualization of black women at breakfast.
Right.
That shouldn't be a thing.
No, it just shouldn't be a thing. So, I applaud these companies for looking at themselves and being like,
oh, guys, wait a minute. Yeah, this is wrong. We've been.
And then you've got somebody probably let's just call him Peter. we'll give him a normal name, who has been like, I've been with this company like 50 years and I've been telling you the same thing every year in the meeting and everybody shoots me down. But now, because it's cool.
Right. Exactly.
We're going to get on it.
So what are we going to do about Uncle Ben?
Right? Nobody's talking about Uncle Ben. Nobody wants to talk about Uncle Ben. It's all horrible.
Yeah, it's all messed up. So, all right. Well, I'm interested to see where this goes, how they take it, and how far it goes, and how many fuckers are going to be like, why would we change it? It's not that I can't. Okay, Karen.
Okay, Karen. My sister's husband Griffin posted something the other day on Facebook. It was pretty funny about them changing the Confederate flag on the Dukes of Hazzard car to a rainbow flag.
I'm sorry. Like
NASCAR's not. No, I think it was a joke. And I was like, oh, I can't wait. Like, that would be really funny if they CGI'd in a rainbow flag on the top of that car in every single episode.
Yeah, like that was hilarious. My next question was like, is Dukes of Hazzard still relevant? Like, is it?
People will never let go.
On there that I don't know about. Is it a reboot? Because I knew there were movies.
There was a movie. They made one movie with Ashton Kutcher and
Jessica Simpson, wasn't it?
Was it Ashton? It wasn't Ashton Kutcher.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Jessica Simpson was Daisy Duke.
She was.
And I want to say that one Stifler was in it, maybe?
Yes. He said that. I think he was in it, but who was the other one? Was it Ashton Kutcher? No, I need to know.
I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that was something that was always wrong and just ridiculous to begin with. Maybe we can just slowly walk away from Dukes of Hazzard.
Stop.
Maybe we don't reboot it ever again, and maybe we just never speak of it again. How about that?
Right. We don't. Oh, that's why I blocked it out of my head. It was, I think it was Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So also let's move to happier topics.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed the plethora of these Wizard World online experiences? You had a bad experience.
I did. But hopefully I'll get that rectified by purchasing a cameo by one Timothy Omenson.
So they've had tons and tons of these.
Yes, I mean, I guess, I don't know, just to clarify, I don't know if I've said it before. I know I remember kvetching about it for for like a good portion of an episode. I don't remember if I actually said that, if I came back and said, yes, Wizard World did finally reimburse me for that clusterfuck of an event that was supposed to be like, a glorious day for me. But so they gave me my money back. I'm happy. I'm cool with them. We're cool. All right, that's it.
So here's my problem with them. So let me yell at them for a minute. We all miss con life. I miss it a lot. I miss being at a convention. I miss the celebrities. I miss the interaction.
Yes.
So Wizard World has taken to doing these online experiences. It seems like there's a new one every single day.
Yes.
And when they first started, they were great.
They're like digging deep now.
But yes, this is my problem with them. Now they're like there was one today. They were like, come join us for the originals panel. I'm like, ooh, I want to see wait, who's that? Who's that? There's not one goddamn name on this list that I even know.
Number 12 on season 1, episode 5 of the originals. So
right?
Nobody cares.
Don't nobody care. Now they did do a Vampire Diaries one with like a lot of big people. I was like, oh hey, but there was not one lady on the panel, so it was like, y'all just fucking up all over the place. Like there was no people of color on it. It was just a bunch of white dudes talking about Vampire Diaries. Like,
cool. Cool.
So man. I need you to do better.
Right. And seriously, you would think because you don't have to fly anybody out anywhere, that you don't have to put them up in a hotel, you don't have to give them a per diem. They're just like and it's one day, like several hours of them sitting in their house. They don't even have the pants are optional.
Right.
Like, I don't understand why it would be that difficult to actually get like the top names on board and stuff.
I was watching the Once Upon a Time one, which again, I was like, who the fuck? Who did you? Okay, I recognize you, and I recognize you, but who the fuck are the rest of you? And the one, David Anders, he was Sark on Alias.
Mm-hmm.
He was Whale. He was Dr. Whale, and he was the Frankenstein doctor on Once Upon a Time. He's sitting, imagine this, everyone. You're on a panel full of fans, and he's sitting slouched down as far as he can in his seat. I thought he was asleep. And then he's sitting with his like hand on his forehead, bored as shit.
Oh my God.
Like, do you forget that you're on camera?
Right.
And then he like ruffles his hair through his hands, or his hand through his hair. He sits forward on the chair, and he's so close to the camera you can only see like his head. And then he like leans back. He never did say anything the entire time I was watching it. And finally I was like, this is boring. And I turned it off. Like, just do better, Wizard World. Thank you for what you are trying to do.
Yeah.
But do better. Just do better.
I'm looking at like our Lost virtual experience, and it's like 2 people from Lost. Like there were like 75 different people that could like headliners on like main characters from Lost, and you could come up with 2. That's it.
Right.
What else?
And you know these people are bored.
Right. It is just like, Hurley and the pregnant chick. Like,
and she didn't do the Once Upon a Time panel.
Oh God.
So you're gonna do a Lost panel, but Emily DeRaven, but you can't come do a. Okay.
And I would like somebody explain to me why Kato Kaelin is still relevant.
He hugged my mom at Wizard World.
What has he done other than like insert himself in the whole OJ thing? Like, why is he part of this pop culture thing in 2020?
I think he did a lot of like VH1 reality, like celebrities live in a house type of thing. Like, he has been riding this wave.
Honestly, like, how is there anybody left who gives a shit?
Like, my mom didn't even know who he was. I had to like remind her like who he was. And she was like, "Oh yeah, Kato, yeah. Oh yeah, he hugged me." She was so happy. I'm like, but he's no one.
Right. Like you would think that would have ended like 2000, right? 2005 at the most.
No, like, now he's doing like hosting things for them, and
yeah, I think there was. Yeah, it was probably the one that we were at in Cleveland or something. Yeah, he was just out in the crowd, just like talking to people on like on the microphone, like he was doing giveaways on the floor. So
he was creepy.
I just don't.
He was creepy.
I don't get it. Could somebody please get Chris Evans on one of these virtual things? Like, come on,
right?
Come on.
So then the other thing, and I'm sad that yours didn't go through, because I have this fear of these one-on-one experiences. Like, you can spend a certain amount of money and you get a one-on-one video call with your celebrity. Mm-hmm. How fucking awkward is that going to be when it first connects, when you're like, and then you actually have to talk to them, just you. There's nobody to bounce off of.
Right.
So you're either just staring at each other.
That's why I would be super hesitant. Like, I was very hesitant to even purchase the one with Timothy, because like I need to come up with a really good question, because you got like 5 minutes maybe, and like I don't know where to start. I loved you in this. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like, they've heard that like 1,000 times a day. I loved you in this. I loved you in that. Oh, it's so funny when you do this.
And then, like, is there a timer? And so, like, at the end of your 5 minutes, does it automatically disconnect? What if they're in the middle of a sentence?
I think that's what it did. From what I could tell from, like, other people going through it, a lot of them were just going to come out, would just appear and be like, it just cut me off. I didn't get a chance to say blah. So I think they just kind of pulled the plug on. I don't know if there's a...
See, that's messed up, too.
It's rude.
What if you're flowing?
Right. And plus, like, you're all excited and blah, blah, so you're not keeping time. You're not watching anything. You don't know what's going on. You're like flop sweats are happening. Fucking fast, stuttering. You don't get anything out that you want to get out. And, finally it's like, and then just like, oh yeah, I remember this really important thing I wanted to. Hello? Hi.
Anybody?
Hello?
No?
Hi.
Damn it.
I missed my chair.
Now I wonder how many people are like, imagine the celebrity you hate the most.
Cuba Gooding Jr. Go on.
For me, it's Julianne Moore. Like, imagine just paying for that one-on-one call and being like, fuck you!
Right, and just shut it down.
And just shutting it down. Like, I just wanted to say that.
It's like, my heart is so much lighter now. It's like I finally got it off my chest to him. Like, he knows what he's he knows what he did. He doesn't.
Right?
I don't need to give him a whole explanation.
Although for the rest of the day, they're gonna be like, someone said "fuck you" and left.
Gave me the double birds, like really hard.
Right, and bounced.
I felt it. I felt that in my chest.
That'd be amazing.
If I had disposable income.
Right? And how many, like, my mind goes to weird places. So I start thinking about how many people connect and then their fan is just suddenly naked in front of them. There's just like a dick on screen with like, no.
That would be horrifying.
Like titties just pressed up against the camera. You're like, what even, is that an areola?
It has to have happened at least
at
once.
least once.
Right. There's got.
And then what if the celebrity's just like, this is my dick.
Okay.
You're like, all right. I'm now recording all of your dick.
And that sounds like a Jeremy Piven move.
But like, I felt bad for Ansea because she got that. Her whole experience got canceled.
The whole thing just got like kicked from under her. She was like on cloud 9 for weeks, and then
she was about to hug up on some Chris's, not one.
No, but 2. And then coronavirus came along with a big old pin. It was like, pop.
Yep. At least she got. I mean, she got refunded and everything, so that's not an issue. But like, still, it's never going to be the same.
Right. She was no. Like that was the sliver that was right there. She could have slid in, and they're not going to know. Like most people who've never been to a con aren't going to know the joy that it was.
Right.
At one point, just I mean, sure you run the risk of catching con crud, but again. And it's like, you follow the proper procedures and which maybe coronavirus, that's what it started with
con crud.
Right.
You'd be amazed how many people don't wash their ass at the con.
Some of y'all are nasty.
You're nasty.
But yeah, so it's not going to be the same because celebrities aren't shaking hands or hugging people anymore. And
yeah. There's a new thing on Hulu called a watch party.
Yay.
Now, if you're familiar with watch parties on Facebook, Facebook's been doing them for a little bit, but now Hulu's doing them. And you can invite 7 people?
Yeah, up to 7 people can be on it. And also Netflix has been doing this too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They real quiet about it.
Right? Like somebody told, like I never heard about it online or by anybody else. It was like a friend invited me to one. And I was like, huh? You can do that? Like my only problem with it is that I don't like watching movies or on my laptop, and you can only access these things. And I don't really like watching things. I will, but I don't like. That's not my enjoyment. That's not my movie experience that I like, and especially now since you can't go to the fucking theater. Right. But it's just like that's the only reason why I haven't. Like I keep getting invited to, like, there's a group of ladies that I know that love horror, and they're all, every Friday they're like, hey, we're going to watch a new horror movie on Netflix. Come join the fun. But I'm just like, I don't want to sit on my laptop and watch.
I want to. Okay, so this is my problem. Tech companies. I am tired of not having the same experience on different platforms. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of not being able to like a video on YouTube. When I watch it on my Kindle Fire, I can't even comment on it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you can't like things. Like you can subscribe, but on the Kindle Fire, you can only watch it. It's not like you can give it a thumbs up that I know of. I've never been able to figure it out.
That's crazy.
And just like these, why do I have to sit at a browser?
Right.
To do this? Why can't I do it from my Fire Stick or from my PlayStation?
Right.
Have this game. Yes. I'm even tired of having a different experience of the app. Same app, but different look on different platforms.
Right. Oh, not even different platforms, different devices. Like my TV downstairs versus my TV upstairs. 2 different Hulus. Like, and I can't. And I feel like I'm trying to figure out, like, do I need to update something upstairs first?
Right.
I can't find any way to do it.
Which one of you is my old hoe and needs to be upgraded? Which one is it? I don't even know anymore. And then I've got some Sony devices, like the first Sony streaming boxes that are like, we don't even work on here anymore. Okay. Well, what's this box do? What do I even do with this box now? I don't even know what to do with it. So tech companies do better.
The only thing I haven't tried, and maybe this works, but maybe Chromecast. Like maybe you can cast it to your television from your laptop and it'll still work. I haven't tried that yet. So
same thing with Steam. Like we're using Steam to play board games because we're not allowed to do them in person if it's not outside. At least we can do it outside now. But you can only do it on a laptop or a computer. Why can't I do it on my iPad?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. My iPad's strong enough to download a game. Why can't I? Why?
You're making this quarantine business really hard, guys.
Such first world problems.
I know. Oh my God. What do you mean to tell me I have to watch a movie on my laptop?
Right? I hate using a laptop, though. I really do. It gets hot, and then my lap gets hot.
Right.
And then it dies, and I have to find
I'm never fully pulled into it. And plus, when I'm on my laptop, then it's just like a fucking free-for-all for me to start doing something else.
Right.
I'm like opening up, looking up stuff, doing this. I was like, oh, I could probably edit this, so I could go ahead and go look at the,
Yeah.
And I'm and not paying attention to anything.
Right. And then you've got your phone over here because you've got two browsers open over here, but you need this one open. But I've got to look this up on my phone really quickly. We all need, I need a VCR, a tube TV, and a time machine. Because this shit's too difficult.
Shut it down. Go back to basics. Go back to what I know.
Right.
My old bootleg VHS tapes, two VCRs, a blank tape.
Taking the commercials out, sitting there. Now you fucked it up. You got to go back. But speaking of things we know really well.
Season 6, episode 10, Wrecked. Original air date, November 27, 2001. Oh, yeah. Written by, of course, Marty Noxon. Directed by David Solomon. Amy introduces Willow to a warlock whose powerful black magic proves addictive. Buffy and Spike deal with the aftermath of their night of passion.
There's going to be lots of fanning. Lots of, oh my.
Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd.
Strap in, people. Because this one's about to get dirty.
Oh, my God. Elizabeth Ann Allen as Amy Madison and Jeff Kober as Rack.
Shudder gasp.
Which I don't, I know you guys may remember Jeff as the really sadistic vampire that they threw at Buffy, that the Watchers Council threw at Buffy on her birthday. And, but it's not the same character.
No.
Same actor.
Same actor, different character.
But he's a very distinctive person. Like, it's not like you would you don't forget seeing this dude.
No.
Ever. And anytime he shows up in anything else ever, he's always Wrecked to me.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like season 1 and 2 when that actor, I forget his name right now, but he played the vampire in the pilot, and then he came back as the judge. When that dude's in things, know it's him. Like even when he has makeup on as the judge, you're like, hey, that's the vampire from the pilot. Same thing with Jeff Kober. Like I see him and I'm like, he was Kralik. Now he's Rat. Okay, whatever.
If you say so, guys.
Suspend my disbelief. It's fine.
Take me on this journey. All right. Also before I forget, we are on Instagram now. Finally, we got that mess cleaned up. Somebody somehow, some way, there was an Instagram account that was linked to our email. It got cleared up. You don't care about the details, but what you do care about is following us on Instagram. So RVS_podcast. That's where we be, and hopefully we'll see you there too. Yeah. And I don't know exactly what we're going to populate it with, but we'll figure it out. It's
going to be a mash of stuff. You'll just find stuff there.
Right, yeah. Memes, random character blow-up-shooting of, Googling over. Remember this photo series of James Marsters from the 90s, from early 2000s when he was
on the motorcycle, leaning up. Uh-huh.
Remember the see-through shirt, the lace shirt with his hair all tousled?
Remember the pull-ups? The ones where we just pull-ups? I don't know why my Alexa device just went up. She was like, what? What about this?
We'll go dig into our archives, I guess, of those photos that we picked up along the way, because we saved a lot of those photos, printed out a lot of those photos, made a lot of fan art from those photos.
A lot of wallpapers, a lot of banners.
So maybe it'll be some stuff like that too. Okay. So we pick up right where the next night. where Smashed was. So now Wrecked is, or the next morning. And we started off real slow, like, because nobody came home for Dawn.
Nope.
Dawn and Tara fell asleep in front of the TV, and nobody's there.
Thank God for Tara.
Yeah, seriously. Because, like, nobody cares about Dawn anymore. Now she's not the key. They're like, she's fine. She's probably fine. Nobody gives her a second thought. Before, like, last season, was all, Dawn this, Dawn that. We got to watch her. We got to protect her. Somebody needs to be on Dawn Patrol. But now nobody cares.
Nobody cares. She's got a wedgie riding up her crack, which she thinks Tara's concerned about, but Tara's more concerned about the fact that nobody came home.
It's like, no, wait. Why did anybody wake us up?
Right.
There's nobody here right now. So they search the house, and then we get on over, and we see that Buffy and Spike are underneath some rubble. Like a lot of rubble of the house.
Is this before cell phones?
What is this, 2001?
Maybe cusp of cell phones before everybody really had one? Like, nobody could call and say, I'm not going to be home?
I'm pretty sure that we had cell phones. Like, they were the beginning of it, and maybe Buffy couldn't afford it.
Maybe.
The plan, but I mean, cricket was a thing. We absolutely
had cell phone. Fucking call a person.
Right. Exactly.
I love that she uses his jacket to cover herself up with.
Right. So she's full of regret. And
confusion.
When did the house fall down?
And Spike is just like, sometime between the first time and it was that kind of night.
Okay, I see you. Mm-hmm. I see you. And so Buffy,
I see you.
Yeah, like they're both all covered in bruises and cuts and bite marks, and shit got rough. Shit got
real rough. But accelerated healing power, she's already on the mend, where it's going to take him a couple more days.
Right.
It's when she wakes up, there's a little piece of trivia I found on the Buffy wiki. When she wakes up, she's like, oh God, no. Oh God, no. Which is very similar to the statement that Spike made in Out of My Mind when he woke up from his dream of kissing Buffy. He was like, oh God, no. Please, no. You can't deny your passion, guys.
I know, seriously. Like, Buffy's like gouging the place, looking for her clothes and whatnot. And Spike's just still like lounging about, just like being real. Like, he's you can't tell him shit right now, basically. He's like, gotcha. That's
right.
That's what his attitude is like. Haha. Did it.
The male anatomy, as opposed to the female anatomy, like if a woman was just laying here naked the way he is just laying here with his hand behind his head, it's a very beautiful sight. But he's just balls and dick out. Like, imagine it from Buffy's point of view, like,
right. It's like, I need to get out of
penis.
Now. Can you please just put that away?
Right? And then, we thought the biggest moment came in the previous episode with the belt.
Right, belt and the zipper.
But there's a moment here with some fingers under the skirt.
And she suddenly gets very quiet. He's like trying to convince her to stay. She's like, no, fuck you. You suck. I don't know why I did this. I'm terrible. This is a horrible thing. He's like, bet you I get you to stay.
Right?
He pulls her on his lap, and his hand disappears underneath her skirt, and her face tells us basically exactly where his hand has gone.
She makes a little noise.
All right, and she almost gives in.
Oh, yeah.
They start to go ahead and go round again, and then Spike, dumbass, he says some real stupid shit. He's like, I knew the only thing better than killing the Slayer would be to... She's like, what was your end game, dude? Like,
right?
Why would you think that would be a good thing to say at that point? You're trying with all your might to get her to stay, and now it's like, all right, yeah, gotcha. Notch on my belt. I did it, and I can't wait to go tell all the other vampires.
Yep. And then she goes for the balls and just says that he is convenient.
Yikes.
And it actually pisses him off. Like, he was like flirty banter back and forth up until this point. And then he was like, you know what? No. We're not going to play another round of Kick the Spike.
Right.
Because I know where you live now.
And that he does. And there's a moment, like this, the moment where she's trying to leave. I love this stance that they're on. Like she's trying to go, she goes to push him, and then he just kind of stops her. He's got his hands on top of her, like around her neck, on top of her shoulders. Not really, doesn't look like there's much force happening there.
No.
But he's kind of got it there, and he's like he's got his fists crossed in the back. And she's standing rather defiant, and she's got her hands behind her back. Like he's not holding her hands back there, but she's like, so it's just like a really great moment. And I don't know who came up with that. Just all this body language right here.
It's great.
Really awesome. Yeah. And I love the look on Sarah's face. That she's
defiant as hell. So mad, but turned on at the same time.
Right.
You can see it. Like, I hate myself for this, but damn it. And then my burn of the week comes in right here. And it's when they're arguing back and forth about, how much she liked fucking Spike. And, and she actually says to him, "You're bent." And he says, "Yes, but it still made you scream."
Okay.
Oh, my.
So, okay.
So for those of y'all playing at home, that means that Spike's got a crooked
hook.
Little hook.
Kind of hooks to the left or right. I'm not sure which way, but apparently it got her.
Got the job done. And then she just wants to leave, and she doesn't want him to tell anyone.
There's a lot of threats. Like she's serious about it, and she's serious this time. This time that she threatens to kill him, she's very serious.
Yeah,
very serious.
I will kill you. And he's like, sure, and just pulls her underwear out of his back pocket.
Or out of his butt crack, because I don't think, was he wearing pants at this point?
Yeah, he had put his jeans on by then. When the convenient mark came out, he put his jeans on. Apparently he doesn't wear underwear, though.
No.
Aren't you afraid of zipping your shit up? Like,
you would think, like, I mean, a stray pube, like, it's just, it's too, maybe, he wears button-ups. He wears butterflies, doesn't he? So that's
he might. So she punches him in the face and runs off.
Meanwhile, back at the Summers Ranch, Tara's making pancakes, and Willow and Amy come home to a very awkward moment.
Poor Tara. Every time she gets upset, she starts to stutter.
I don't know. Whole thing.
And she's confused. She's like, "Oh, so you were just out all night with some hot chick? I don't even know who this bitch is." And Willow's like, "It's Amy." "Rat Amy?" And she's like, "Sorry." Like, everybody apologizes every time. They're like, "Rat Amy."
And she's like, "That's fair. That's true.
So I was a rat." And she immediately sticks her foot in her mouth by telling them what an amazing witch Willow is now and how they did shit at the Bronze you wouldn't believe.
Yep.
And
Tara
read a room.
Right. So am I to understand that? I mean, I would just like a little clarification. So Amy was a rat for 3 years, so she was unable to hear and comprehend anything that was going on around her?
I guess.
Like, did she not see anything? I just don't. Does she not remember being a rat? Remember her moments as a rat? Like, she knows she was a rat, but I would just like some clarification, because it would be much better if she did understand. And she did.
She acts like she doesn't know who Tara is.
Right.
Tara's probably pet her 1,000 times.
Exactly.
She's cleaned your shit.
Show some damn respect, Amy.
Right? So then Buffy
take care of you by herself.
Right. She wasn't the only one cleaning that cage. So then Amy does finally read the room, and she's like, "I think I'll go see my dad." I'm out. It's awkward here. Because Tara has decided that she's just going to leave.
She's like, "You know what? Never mind."
I thought maybe when we broke up you'd get better, but no, this is why I'm out. I can't. And then Buffy comes home. And Dawn makes a point of saying, like, "Oh, you're all hurt and beat up. It must have been a really hard fight."
Right. She's like, "Oh, just an all-night fight with some monster." And so Dawn takes that to mean that there's a new big bad. Mm-hmm. And Buffy's like, that just kind of brushes off. "No, not really, whatever." Poor Dawn. She's just still just like, "Oh, happy everybody's home." It's like, trying to make excuses as for why nobody cared enough to check in,
right,
to see if she was okay or not.
And I forgot, it's at this point that Amy goes home because, Dawn is saying like, I think, everything's fine. I think my pancakes are burning, and like Buffy wants to go to bed. Amy wants to go home. Willow's also tired, so she's going to go to bed. And Dawn's just like, well, fuck me, I guess. Nobody.
That's cool.
I don't get breakfast. My breakfast is burnt. Nobody wants to hang out. And I'm alone again.
So
and she even says, don't worry about me.
Yeah, she's like, I'll just go find some other people, I guess. Is Dawn 15?
Yeah, I think she's 15.
Dawn, you're
maybe
old enough.
16 by this stage.
You're old enough to make a fucking pancake. Get it together.
And a friend.
Right. Yeah. So what happened to your little girl, your girl Janice?
Right.
Like,
well, after that night.
Janice was probably done with her.
Janice don't live in Sunnydale no more. Her mom was like, nope.
Dude bit me. It drew blood. Willow goes up to bed and, she's all tuckered out and whatnot. And so she tries to do a spell or use her magic to close the drapes in her room because, and it's not working. So she tries again, doesn't work. And so she gets up like common folk and walks across the room and uses her hands to close the curtains.
Like a baby toy.
Like some sort of savage. What are we dealing with here?
Right. And it makes me wonder, like, was she tapped out or was magic legit like, bitch, get up. We are done helping you with menial tasks.
This is
get your ass out of bed.
This isn't what magic is for.
Right. So back at the magic box, this is the only part of this episode that kind of annoys the shit out of me. Because it's kind of out of place. It doesn't have to do with really anything in the episode, and that's all the stuff with Willow and with Xander and Anya.
Right.
Xander's busy researching the diamond that was stolen from the museum. Now, the interesting part about that, and it's my little trivia for the week, is that the book he's looking in is Tobin's Spirit Guide, which for fans of Ghostbusters, you'll recognize that name, as that's the first place we heard of Tobin's Spirit Guide was in Ghostbusters.
Is that the guy that was in the painting? No,
it's just a book that Egon references about finding monsters and demon occult things in. So that's funny. The book that he's using, and it's also the book that Giles used in Revelations when he found an illustration of the glove of Minagon.
That's funny.
So, but I thought we had all agreed to not let Xander read from the books.
They're running low on hands here on people.
On researchers.
Yeah, like seriously, like Willow is all somewhere else. Giles left, and Anya is more concerned about planning her wedding, which blah 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 blah. It's whatever.
And this is the first episode she is blonde, and I hate it.
I
hate it so much.
So blonde. She's so blonde. Mm-hmm. It's too much. Like it washes her entire face out. Mm-hmm. But there is a moment where Xander and Anna bring up they're concerned about Willow and all the magic that she's using, and this is like, this is obsessive and this doesn't seem right. She's acting all weird and different and whatever, and Buffy she's
thinking about herself.
Yeah, exactly. She's internalizing what they're saying, and
not about you, Buffy.
Right, and so she's like sticking up for Willow, but basically for herself, saying, it's not time to be all judgmental about it. She's just changing, and people change, and sometimes they make mistakes, and blah blah blah. Okay, sure. Mm-hmm. So strike 2, 3, 12 on your friends for not helping you deal with your troubles.
Right. And maybe if right then and there, Buffy had just said, "I fuck Spike."
Right.
I don't know why. Maybe because I was dead and in heaven and you guys ripped me out of there and brought me back and it's all your fault. But, I did this thing and I feel a certain way about it. Talk through it with me. But no.
Exactly. Can we discuss?
She doesn't do that. She doesn't trust her friends enough to do that.
Which, come on. Like, you guys have been through so much.
Right.
Sure, there would be some judgment, a lot of judgment from Xander. and maybe even Anya, but not so much.
Right.
But it would have been, you would have been much better off.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Amy and Willow are just kind of like tooling around town. What should we do tonight? We can't top last night. It's going to be too much. And Willow's like, you know what? I'm tapped out. I can't with the magic all day. Like I couldn't do it. I'm super beat. And then Amy's like, I know where we can go get more. Okay.
All right. You've been a rat for 3 years, but
right.
You know, I guess you updated your contacts in the last 24 hours.
And it's supposed to be, and I guess was she going here when she was in high school, like 3 years ago?
I guess, but looking at everyone else that's in there, Amy never looked like a meth addict.
No, and I don't
know. That's what everyone looks like.
Why they are like these dudes? First of all, the dudes in there don't look like warlocks of any sort. So I wouldn't imagine any of them are practicing magic. So maybe it's safe to say that Wreck is not just dealing magic.
Right. He may straight up be dealing crack.
Right.
And as soon as he walks out, I'm like, it's Jeff Kober. Even in his non-Buffy roles, Jeff Kober creeps me out. He creeps me out.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
There he goes. They go in. He takes them first, and you know Amy's feeling all special and whatnot, and he knows right away that she was a rat, and you know, but he's feeling all the power coming off of Willow, and our Willow that we know and love from the past kind of comes back, and she's a little intimidated. She's a little scared. She's like, I don't mean to come off. I don't mean to give off vibes. And he's like, you know, it's cool, you know, whatever. But, you know, if you want what you want, I'm going to need something from you. She's like, all right, I got a little money. He's like, I don't want your money. She's like, well, I'm pretty handy with the computer. Willow, does this guy look like he owns a clean shirt, let alone a computer?
Right. And then she's worried. She's like, I don't know what Amy told you, but Amy said... And so all he wants to do is he wants to take a little tour.
Gross. No, thank you. I'm going to go now.
No, thank you.
I'm all done with the magic. It's got to go.
I'm okay. I don't really want to know that. Don't touch me. Like, don't touch me. And he does. He like puts his hand on her chest.
Invasive.
Yeah.
Intrusive.
And it's your first real indication that she is really powerful because he gets this certain look on his face, like, oh, okay. Ew. And then he calls her strawberry.
You smell, or do you say you taste like strawberries?
You taste like strawberries.
You know, and that ruins anything that, you know, I still eat strawberries, but I hate, you know, even commenting on how good they taste anymore.
Right, because that's all you hear.
Right. This has ruined it for me. It's like anytime I say, oh, that smells like strawberries, or, it's, you know, it's just,
like, what? And she seems high. Yeah. Like real high.
There's a glorious montage. There's a scene of just like them tripping, I guess is what we'll call it. Tripping off of the black magic. And there's a lot of weird imagery, and Willow's up on the ceiling.
Again, a lot of skin for Willow.
Yeah.
This is like the season of skin for Allison Hannigan.
Yeah.
She was feeling herself.
Yeah, like a lot. Up on the
like a lot. And I love This Is My Song of the Week. It's called Black Cat Bone by a band Laika, Laika.
Yeah.
It was also used on Charmed, but you can also find it on the Radio Sunnydale soundtrack. Because it's not on Amazon Music for some reason.
It is on Spotify, though.
Spotify annoys me. I don't want to pay for it. I already paid for Amazon Music, so I don't want to pay for two things.
That's how I feel about Amazon Music, and I'm not paying for that. I would like to just, I'm paying for Spotify.
Right.
So there's just like this weird thing going on. You know, the song is playing, and it's just weirdness. So they're both, Amy and Willow are both tripping balls, and, you know, Wreck is enjoying the view and seeing everything. And then Willow, she goes all black-eyed, and then she starts to like transform, or she starts to like move through time.
Teleport.
Yeah. And she's like at the magic box, she's at the bronze, and then all of a sudden she wakes up with a mouthful of carpet. Not that way. And her... it's like, how did I get here?
She's on like the floor of her own bedroom.
Right. And it's daylight, like very much daylight. So she had another bad night, another bad trip.
wouldn't you immediately be like, Amy, how'd I get Amy? Where's Amy? Amy, okay? Amy, are you okay? Because I fucking teleported. I don't know how. How'd you get home? Did you fly?
How's it been? What day is it?
Right.
What's happening? And there's a, kind of the typical scene of her crying in the shower. I don't like.
Everybody needs a good cry in the shower every now and again.
Well, yeah, but you would think that would have been enough for her. That she's hit rock bottom.
Nope, not yet. She hasn't.
Not yet.
This next scene.
No, she's still got a couple more levels to go. But she's all sad and blue and
this
spent.
Is creepy. What she does is creepy. She's not that spent because she uses the little bit of magic she has left to inflate Tara's dress. And then she cuddles with it.
But mind you, this thing is headless and handless.
Handless and headless.
It's just body shape here. Like, I'm assuming it's to the specifications of Tara. I mean, why not? If you're gonna go this far, like, why not at least just make like full on body?
At least give it.
I forgot that it's sat up.
Yeah, it's sat up. It's so creepy. And then she just like wraps herself around it, and it puts its handless arms around. It's so. This ain't right. It ain't right. And if anybody had walked in, they'd be like, Willow, what the fuck? Like, seriously.
Too far. Too far. So it's later that evening. Willow goes downstairs, and Dawn is in the kitchen making a peanut butter banana quesadilla.
Gross.
This tells me that nobody has gone grocery shopping. That's right. What this tells me. Because, no, there's no way she's that bored. But, I mean, I guess maybe she is that bored. But at what point does that sound good?
I'm surprised that there are fresh fruits on that table, to be honest. Like, and they're pretty bananas. So at least they're healthy bananas.
Right.
But that child should not be eating. Like, who made sure she went to school today?
Is it a school day? I wasn't even sure. Like, is it week? I'm assuming it's the weekend because, of her divorced parent
comment with Tara.
Yeah, I would say that was Saturday, and now we are into Sunday, maybe.
And y'all can afford Fuji water,
right? Because that shit's expensive.
So delicious. I don't know how you make water better.
I know, but it's delightful. It makes me want to drink water.
Mm-hmm. But y'all can afford it. You can't even afford a plumber, but you're buying cases of Fuji.
You know what would be a useful way for Willow to use her magic? Conjure up some cash. Conjure up paid bills. Conjure up some groceries.
Because let's see, Willow, Dawn, Buffy, Tara moved out, so she's not living there, and Xander has his own place. Who's paying the bills in this house?
Nobody.
Willow's in school. Dawn's in school. Buffy does nothing right now. Shouldn't even have a job.
Nope. So
we know Joyce's money's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Who's paying the electric bill? How much money did Giles give her?
Right. It must have been a lot. I'm thinking like a 6-month cushion, maybe.
And where did he get it? Is that the back pay he got from the Watchers Council?
Yeah.
That was his nest egg.
Old Giles, he lived a frugal lifestyle. Right? Like he had that beater car forever, and then it was just last year that he finally upgraded to a new car. He had a very small apartment. It wasn't anything fancy. He did.
Maybe he's subletting that apartment out, right. And he's got rent coming in.
Like 1 bedroom at the most, and he could have absolutely used a 2-bedroom. Yeah, but no, it's frugal about it. Just got the one. It's fine.
I love that set. And if they were going to have him leave, I wish they would have had Xander move into that apartment.
That would have made sense.
I love that set. That set was so cool. But no. So back at the Summers residence, Buffy's wandering around the house, and she realizes after Willow is going to take Dawn somewhere.
Out. And she's like, I'll take you to dinner, and we can go to a movie. Great.
So no one's home.
Buffy comes home. She hears rustling around. She goes upstairs and sees that someone's been through her shit or Willow
shit. Which is interesting. There's I found it on the Buffy, one of the Buffy Wiki continuity gems for this episode is if you look inside Willow's trunk, the box from Hush
Uh-huh.
is in her is in her chest.
Really?
Why does she have that?
Why do you have this? Why isn't it burnt?
Right. Because we know that Buffy opened it, but didn't Buffy break it, or did she just break the crystal that was inside it? That's what I'm trying to remember.
I think it was just the crystal inside it.
Okay. And so Buffy then took the box and gave it to Willow? Interesting.
Like either there's like some sort of like that's a subtext that was purposefully done, or they were just ran out of random things to put in this box to make it look like Willow had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they just shoved a bunch of shit in there, not knowing that fans are eagle-eyed viewers.
Exactly.
So Buffy finds Amy trying to sneak out.
She's all strung out.
She's all strung out, but she has one of my favorite lines that I use all the time.
But look, two of them, it's two of my favorite lines in there. So Buffy's trying to shake her down for information. She's like, what did you do? She thinks, she did something to Willow and Dawn. But Amy's just there to steal like magic supplies. And she's like, Willow understands. She knows I need this. And then she tells her about Wreck and that, Willow's worse off than I am because she's probably there. She's there with Wreck now because she's his new favorite. And Buffy just keeps like slamming her up against the wall. Like every question she asks her. And then at one point she's like, I like your Amy's like, I like that jacket. When does a Slayer find time to shop?
Such a good question. Such a good question.
The other line that you love so much
is she keeps shaking her and she's like, oh, don't shake with Slayer strength. I think I'm going to boot. Which is true because she is shaking the shit out of her.
Right.
And I do like she like holds up this bag of herbs and she's like, it's not what you think it is. It's sage.
She's like, it is. And Buffy's like, it is what I think it is.
That is what I think it is. What did you think? She's asking her like, what else did you take? And so now Buffy is on the hunt for Willow. Does she know that Dawn is with her at this point?
She's assuming at this point, because I don't think that Amy knew one way or the other or cared. But she assumes since Dawn's not there and Willow's not there, then they must be together. So Willow and Dawn are like strolling through the dark alleyways of Sunnydale, and Dawn's just like they're talking about the meat party in her mouth. That was the delicious burger that she just had. But then Willow tries to like kind of get some information about Tara from her. It's like, is she cool? Is everything fine? She's moved into a new place. And Dawn just kind of mentions that, yes, I mean, everything, it was a fun time, but, she's a little kind of sad, a little worried about you still. And, maybe you should, she doesn't say this, but maybe you should need to slow some shit down.
Right. And Dawn is all of us because she's, they're on their way to the movies.
Yeah.
And time is starting to get away from them.
Dude, like there is, y'all don't understand. Like there's some people that just like slide into the movie theaters like right after trailers. Like I don't, or even after like you've missed like the first scene. What's the point? At this point, it's
what's
scrap.
The point?
Like you don't even go now. Mm-mm. Like you've missed everything.
Yeah.
And I need to get to the theater in time to like, you get your tickets, you buy your snacks, go pee if you need to, find your seat or, reversed. And then you sit down, you sit through the now commercials. Like, oh my God, so many commercials.
So many commercials.
And this stale ass movie trivia that they give you now.
That are sometimes wrong. And I don't like when they're wrong.
Who do I talk to about this?
Right.
Your trivia is not correct. And I would just like some vindication for the fact I have the correct answer. And then you sit down for some wonderful movie trailers. And so Dawn is concerned that, we're taking the long way and we're going to be late. And Willow's like, it's fine. I just need to make this quick stop right quick. And, it's
nobody
okay.
About the trailers.
We'll just miss the trailers. Dawn is offended.
So am I. And so are you.
It's like, this might be the first time in a long time I have to highly disagree with you, Willow. Excuse me. It's like
I've said it before. I would pay just to watch trailers in a theater. I love trailers.
Love me some trailers. The hours spent, like the channels on YouTube that just are movie trailers. That's the beautiful beautiful time sucks for me.
But no, she takes the long way around.
The days that I used to sit at my work desk, just basically get paid for watching.
Right? For watching movie trailers all day.
Unbeknownst to my employers.
So instead of taking her to the movies, she takes her to Rax and has her sit out in the waiting room. And poor Dawn.
Ew.
That man.
Like this
she
whole
immediately is like, what?
Well, right. Like I wouldn't want to touch anything. The whole place, I'm sure, smells of like cat pee, old meat, and despair. Like
and Funyuns.
Funyuns. Look, even it's a bad place because the blinds are all whacked out. Like the blinds are all folded and bent up and misguided. And there's like looks like National Geographics on the table
from like 1952.
Right, exactly. And that couch. Oh, Dawn, why, baby? Why would you sit on that couch? That couch.
You shouldn't have sat down at all.
There's got to be all sorts of things living in that couch.
Right?
You have to be deloused once you leave.
So Rack's doing a spell with Willow. He's got her floating in the air. And she, again, is seeing some weird shit. Real weird shit.
Really weird.
She's like flying through space. And then all of a sudden, the demon that scared her the last time is back. But he's carrying a naked lady.
Okay.
I don't know where the naked lady is or why the naked lady doesn't have nipples.
Who's the naked lady?
And who is the naked lady?
Right. Is this important? Is this something we should
be concerned about?
Right.
But she screams and Rack is pleased as punch. And then we interrupt this broadcast to bring you Naked Spike.
Has he always slept in the nude?
I don't know.
Because I feel like he's been woken up by Buffy several times before.
Fully clothed.
Right.
He was expecting
there has to have been like there has to have been at some point like around his silk sheets face, like the pink silk sheets where he was sleeping in the nude. So yeah, we'll just assume that he still does that.
So she throws this giant candle at him and he's naked. He's fully butt-ass naked.
Like,
and she's like, I have been, like for real naked. Like there's just a cock sock going on there.
Right. Like if he had flinched any more when she threw that candle, we would have seen butt crack.
Yep. And I think we get like top pube shot at like when he jumps out of bed, but she's like, I have been yelling your name for a really long time. And he's like, he does that weird tongue thing again.
Yeah.
When he's talking to her.
Love it.
And he's, saying he's a bit knackered, he had a long night, and she needs his help. Now, Buffy, let's talk for a second.
Right, seriously. Come on.
Why is it when you find yourself in trouble, the first person you go to is Spike?
And then
is it purely because he's a vampire and has more strength? Because she could have called Xander.
Well, to be fair, no, actually, yeah, she could have called Xander because she wouldn't have known otherwise. Spike told her that the place is cloaked.
Right, right.
No, you need a monster or a vampire or a witch to be able to find it. Right.
But she didn't know that at first.
No. Correct.
At first, it was just circle the wagons, got to find Dawn.
Right. So, yeah, you're right. Buffy, you're sending a lot of mixed messages here.
A lot.
And it's no wonder that dude is like all over the place and won't believe you when you're like, leave me alone. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. Mm-hmm. You'll be around. I'll see you in a couple hours. Mm-hmm. You'll be back soon.
And when he gets out of bed, she like turns around and she like rolls her eyes a little bit. And he's like, oh, yeah, hide your blushing eyes.
It's like you did a lot more than just look at the goods last night, sister.
Right. And so they're walking around through town and she's such a bitch to him in these scenes. Like, she's just, he keeps trying to tell her like, this is a thing. We have a thing. And she's like, no, we don't. The only thing that's changed since last night is that I'm disgusted with myself.
Well, he's like, that's fine. I don't really care how you feel about you.
I'm okay with it.
but I love you, and I know that you're going to keep on giving me the goods. And he's like, his whole demeanor has now changed. Mm-hmm. He admits that, yes, he's in love with her still, but it's different than before. Before it was like all moon eyes and, oh, I love you, and kind of beggy. And it was like the old William was coming out and just kind of being really a little pathetic about it. But now that he's done got it from her, he's like, he's got some swag in his step. He's like, yeah, girl, I know what I did. I know where you live. And, again, with the full on fucking jewelry that now he has. Like
right, his gold chain,
his herringbone necklace, and I think it's like a gold chain, and he's wearing silver rings. Like, Spike, yes. I need you to pick one. You can't do both.
And he makes him. He's like, you know what? No, I got my rocks back. Like, it's you've had me by the short hairs for a while now, but I got my rocks back. And if you don't stop being a bitch to me, maybe I will bite you. And she's just like, that's it. I want you out of my life, out of my work, out of my house. And he was like, it's too late for that.
Will not accept it. He won't accept. No.
He won't take no, and it, it eventually becomes an issue. But
yeah. As of
for right now, it's not bad.
It's a non-threatening, denial. He's not. Right. He's just like whatever. He's just kind of like, yeah, whatever is his reaction towards her, and he's not really. To be fair, like she's the one that sought him out. He probably would still be sleeping right now. Like he probably would have left her alone for the rest of the day.
Right. You came to me. You need my help. Like, no, I don't need anything. Shut up. I'll see you later.
So meanwhile, they're looking for Willow and Dawn, and Willow is all doped up and feeling really good. And she's got Dawn, and they're walking around, and she's like, okay, cutie, what do you want to do now? You want to go to the movies? And Dawn's like, no, fuck it. No, let's go home. Like, this
movie ended like 2 hours ago.
Right. You're weird. You're acting all funny. The place smelled like you had me in some creepy crack den. Like, the fuck? Like, oh, I can't wait to tell my sister about this.
And Willow's like, fine, be a baby. Go to fuck home then. I don't even, here, let me get you this car. It'll drive itself.
I'm like, what? And they run into a demon. Mm-hmm. Like the grossest, like
nasty bat.
It's like a meth bat demon. He's got
like a meth bat
and no front teeth.
And Willow's like, oh, it's not real. That's my hallucinatory. That's the no. I not.
Why would I be seeing your hallucinations?
Right. And it's like,
what's at her? Like,
what up, Dawn? And it like scratches Dawn in the face.
It's like, oh, that's real. That's my bad. Mm-hmm. They take off running.
After Dawn kicks it in the stomach, which good on you, Dawn.
Yeah.
Slayer move there. I like it.
Finally, we learn a little self-defense.
And then Willow, she does a little bit of Grand Theft Auto. And she's having way too much fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's important to note that the demon's like, you summoned me, witch. So apparently during her, black magic, whatever the fuck she was doing, she accidentally summoned something. I wish you guys would stop accidentally summoning demons.
Right. And did it come out of Rack's? Like, did it leave? Like, Rack just like, not my problem.
Would you look at that? Right, exactly. Oh, you don't want me. Okay, that's all right. Well, I mean, she left like maybe 30 seconds ago. You can probably catch her.
White girl, red hair. No binder. So she crashes the car horribly. And she is unconscious. Willow kind of looks dead, actually. She's slumped over the wheel. The windshield is cracked. The front end is all smashed up. Dawn's bleeding from the head. And here comes his demon, because it's just been following along.
Right.
It took way too long to get there, though.
She was going fast, but apparently not that fast.
Mm-hmm. And so it jumps out of the bushes. Looks like a completely different demon, if you ask me. Like, the face makeup is completely different when it jumps out at her again. I don't know what they did, but it's real hokey.
Maybe it was pickups. Like, they realized that was a pickup shot. Like, we can't get the same makeup artist for the day.
I'll try to do it the best I can. I'm so sorry.
It's totally different. It's totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah. And he's
so Buff, I don't know. Like, and did you see his little...
Yeah.
He does like this head thing.
Michael Jackson, Shimon.
Right. Yes, that's exactly what it was. And I got to say, I am actually really proud of Dawn in this scene because she was holding her own.
Absolutely.
You know, she kept trying to get away. It was a fight or flight response, and she did a little of both.
Yeah, she did, the whole, throw dirt in your eyes. Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead, whatever. But she was trying. She was trying really hard.
And then, of course, Buffy arrives to kind of save the day.
Like in the nick of time.
Yeah.
There and the kicks that she's throwing and the punches that she's throwing, like every one she falls.
Right. And hard too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, maybe she's a little still banged up from her night with Spike.
Yeah, I guess we're lucky she can still walk. So Spike is over there comforting Dawn, not really
involved in the fight.
Yeah.
At all?
No, he's just...
I guess he did. I think she did tell him to tend to Dawn, make sure Dawn's okay.
Okay.
Which she's not.
No.
At all.
And then all of a sudden, the demon just kind of spontaneously combusts.
It's really funny. Like, Buffy hits it, and all of a sudden it's like...
and he goes up in flames. But turns out it was Willow who did it.
Mm-hmm. Her hands are sparking.
Mm-hmm.
Which we've not seen her have that. Like, Rack had that power, which makes me wonder if she absorbed a little bit of Rack.
Right. Which, yeah, I'm assuming that's kind of how we get to where we get to with her. Because, he takes something from her. She takes something from him. Like a lot from him. And it turns out that, Willow is saying she's sorry and she's crying and she's so upset. And Dawn smacks the shit out of her. And again, good for you, Dawn.
Good for you, Dawn.
Well done. Mama's proud.
And it breaks Willow.
Yeah.
And she tries to run after them, but she falls down and she's just sobbing on the ground. And you would think that Buffy would be like, Willow, come on, it's okay. She's like, get up.
Right.
She's having none of it. Because let's not forget, she's still, at her core, pissed at Willow. Because I think, more than anyone else in the Scoobies, what happened to Buffy was all Willow.
Yeah.
Tara may have helped, Xander may have helped, but they didn't have the power to do what Willow did.
Exactly. And I'm sure it was Willow's idea. And also Willow went in and, borrowed from some other black magic still with like the sacrificing of the deer.
Yeah.
And then the whole, with the snakes and the tests and all that stuff. Yeah. So
Buffy's got some issues with Willow that go beyond Willow's abuse of magic.
This is kind of just like, this is the moment, like her endangering Dawn like she did. This is the tipping point. This just pushes Buffy over. But oddly enough, it's still like Buffy is pissed, but she doesn't like unleash on Willow.
No, because Willow just falls into her arms. She does get up. She manages to pull herself up from the ground, and she begs Buffy to help her. And you kind of see Buffy crack. Like, she had that real mom look on her, but when she collapses into her arms, you see her put her arms around Willow. And, at the moment when Willow's in her bedroom, kind of wrapped up in that blanket, and she's like, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't. I don't know what's happened. This is why Tara left me. I don't know what I'm doing. It's at this moment that I wish Buffy would have been like, you're not alone. I've been fucking up too.
Right.
We need each other. I'll keep you away from magic. You keep me away from that dick.
Right.
Because I can't make myself do it.
We need each other.
We do.
We need to be strong together.
But instead, she's just like, yeah, it sucks. Everything seemed like it was going so well.
I don't know what happened. Oh.
And it kind of breaks my heart a little because Willow's got an identity crisis going on. She keeps doing all of these magics, and she says to Buffy, you know, if you could be old Willow or super Willow, who would you be?
Right.
You know, and I was nobody. I was just some girl.
Right.
You were never just some girl, Willow. Even from the moment we saw you.
Right.
You've never been some girl. You're never just so. You're always someone to somebody.
Right. Exactly. And like, and she kind of, I think at some point, I don't know if it's this episode or a different one, but I feel like at some point she had said something about how she felt like she was nobody until Tara saw her. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't know. I guess I can understand her feelings about that, but it's just, it doesn't seem like, because like, I mean, and not to say that this should be wrapped up in somebody else seeing you, but like the way that Oz was like all over her for like before he even knew who she was.
Right.
Like, he would see her randomly and he'd be like, who's that girl? Like she had something that he was attracted to there. But she's always like, just as the viewer, like there's been something special about her. Like she's, first of all, you're like wicked smart, man. Like,
right. It's actually disrespectful to her relationship with Oz for her to have said that.
Right.
Because he saw you.
Right.
You know, and it was not just like in season 2. I love in season 3 when she's going off about Scott Hope and she gets all tongue tied. And she's, you know, you're supposed to stop me when I do that.
Right.
And he's like, I like when you do that.
Right.
You were a lot. There was worth there before magic.
Yeah, but I guess, you know, it's, you know, it's difficult to see that when she has changed so much from high school to now, and it's like what a lot of people go through. I'm sure. Just, you know, she was quote unquote nobody in high school, just the nerd that nobody hung out with really. Like but still, like you had your core group of friends, and you guys were doing important shit, saving the world over and over again. But okay, you didn't go to a couple parties.
Right.
So, but now, you know, now she's got all this super magic power, and she's got this, or she had this really cool girlfriend, and, you know, she dresses better sometimes. And she lives in a better place.
Let's say she dresses differently.
Right. At least the furry sweaters with like the 3D characters are no more.
With like dresses that lift up and show their underwear. Yeah. And she does say that there are some good things about not doing magic anymore. She's not going to miss the headaches or the nosebleeds, or apparently keeping stinky yak cheese in her bra.
What?
And she tells Buffy not to ask, and Buffy's like, now I don't have to. And so like the episode ends with both of them going through a little bit of withdrawal. Mm-hmm. Willow's in her room shaking. She's going through serious physical withdrawal from not using magic. I don't know how it came on this quickly.
Right. Like,
but
it's been like a few hours since her last hit or whatever from Wreck.
So sure. Okay.
And also,
but what Wreck does to them. Yeah. She only went twice, but for hours upon hours. And it was way more amped up than she's used to. So, okay, I guess.
Right.
But then you got Buffy, who's sitting in the middle of her bed, fully clothed, with a cross. Because she doesn't want Spike to come in. Well, you know, Buffy, you could call Tara. I know you don't want Willow to do magic right now. Right. But you could call Tara and have her do a de-invite. You've done it before. She knows how to do it.
Right. And
you
also,
know, there are ways.
I think that a de-invite is just kind of basic stuff. Like she probably doesn't even need an actual word. Right. Like she probably just needs like certain ingredients and to know the right words to say. Right.
And that's all it would take.
Giles. Right.
Right. He could do it over the phone on the phone. But no, she doesn't do that. Instead, she's just like, I'm not going to let him come in. Right. She's playing games.
Garlic all over the windows too. It's like, at what point was garlic ever a thing on this show?
You know, they did it in season 2 as well. The Angelus episodes, Willow hung a bunch of garlic around her room, but they've never. I imagine that Spike likes garlic.
Right.
He likes a bit of spiciness in his food.
He definitely likes onions.
Right. I imagine he's quite happy with garlic, but it's weird.
It's so weird.
And then that's it. Our episode's over. And I do like this one. It's top 10 for me, I think.
Oh,
I enjoy
yeah.
it.
Definitely.
It's not just about the Spike nudity. I mean, the Spike nudity is great, but it really progresses this season's arc a lot. We don't have any of the trio in this episode, but that's mostly because we're going to spend a lot of time with them next week.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've got too many threads. We would have had too many threads going on if we tried to fit them into this episode.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then, we didn't need it. And it's also just kind of it. Because there's a lot of things that are happening. Like, they are what the big bad is right now, but it turns out, we'll find out that they're not really. So it's not like nobody is really fighting that hard against them right now.
No.
Like, Xander and Anya were doing their little research trying to find out what monsters rob banks. Or no, what monsters steal diamonds.
Steal diamonds.
Right. Which, again, doesn't seem that much of I feel like it's not that urgent.
Right.
Really? Like, dude got frozen. Okay, yeah, that sucks, but he was okay.
He was okay. They put some hair dryers on him. He's all right.
Right. It's been a couple days. He's fine.
Right. Now, they could have thrown in a couple just random shots of them creating the gun that they use next week. Because I assume it took them a while to create this invisibility gun.
Right.
That they are going to use and gone. So just like a few shots of them like tinkering or joking may have like added a bit of fun to the episode.
Maybe.
But we didn't need them.
Nah, it was fine. It was fine the way it was. We got all of the drama and sex, lies, and rock and roll and drugs.
Not enough videotape.
Right. So yes,
we talked about our song of the week. We talked about our burn.
Bodies dropped.
We only had one.
Yeah.
Just the demon by Willow burned up. And apparently that demon has a name.
Okay.
Mandraz. I don't know whoever used it I don't know how.
Nobody ever uttered his name whatsoever.
Nope.
But okay.
I think this is a Bechdel test passer.
Yeah, definitely.
There's lots of non-male conversation going on.
Right.
And we've already talked about our random trivia, which was Tobin's Spirit Guide.
Yeah. So the moral of this story?
Learn how to recognize when you have a problem and use the resources available to help you overcome it. In Harry Potter, Dumbledore tells Harry, help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who ask for it. Just remember, you're never truly alone. Someone will always be there to lend a helping hand, especially if they don't know you. Do not be afraid to talk to strangers. They're probably better than talking to your friends and your family.
Right. There's no judgment. They have no stake. They have no horse in that race.
Right. Just don't be afraid to ask for help.
True that. So let us know what your thoughts are on Wrecked. You can record an MP3 file less than 2 minutes and email it to revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com. Next week is gone.
Oh, Justin Timberlake.
All right.
That's all I hear in my that falsetto. Yes. Every time I think about this episode, I hear that song in my head. I love it so much.
But not Nair and NSYNCer is in this episode, and Buffy is barely in this episode. Woo! And some nasty bits happen in this one too.
Some real nasty bits. I'm thinking of push-ups.
Yeah, dude.
Push-ups in your bed?
That's how you stay toned.
Yep.
Subscribe, follow, like us on all of the things. We're on, like I said at the top of the show, we're on Instagram at RVS_podcast. We're also on Twitter at Back to Sunnydale, or you can follow me on Twitter at @the_Rugged Angel.
Or me, Marcel, at msphere7338.
All right, great. And until next week, thanks for listening.